Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to EML. We are here tonight for season number 5. It is round number 7 from the championship as we take in the Dutch Grand Prix from the Zandvoort International Circuit. My name is James Head. Delighted to be taking through the stream, of course, as always, on this fine Wednesday evening. Little bit sick with my voice, but hopefully it will carry through. Joining me in the commentary box, it is the birthday boy himself, as proven there with the graphic. It is Mr. Jamie Morris. Jamie, happy birthday, first of all. How are you tonight?
Oh, thank you for that. I appreciate that. I'm really good, mate. I'm really, really good. And how are you?
I'm doing really, really good. Yeah, excited for the action tonight?
Oh, yeah, for sure. The Dutch Grand Prix can be a special one as well. Sorry about that. I was just put the background noise on by accident. So, yeah, looking forward to this, the Dutch Grand Prix. Might see quite a lot of DRS trades, but the action has been great so far around here in the Netherlands as well. In the last laps, it can be get very tense as well. So we'll see what happens here tonight, and let's see what the challenges are to come.
Yeah, definitely so. It's going to be really intriguing to see how the drivers get on out on track. You can give the ready up, by the way, to the drivers because everyone is in. Matteo was joined very late, but we are in. We'll only get them going a minute or two late, which is not too bad. Reminder, of course, of what happened in Austria last week. It was a fantastic race in Austria, wasn't it? It was Marlon that took the win. Yossi there in second, denied by 0.2 of a second in the end. Shazoo Tom ran off the third place, and we've got 2 of the top 3 back tonight in Yossi and Tom. Looking through the standings coming into tonight as well, F7R now have a country lead over Outplayed Racing, 46 points the advantage. 246 to their name. Outplayed Racing in second on 200. Then NLR in third on 174. Fresh up a 1-2 in Academy. Team Shazoo in fourth on 143. Then G League in fifth on 117. ET8 in sixth on 94. Then PGS Sim Racing in seventh on 63. X Esports in eighth on 58. Then Race Concept Racing in ninth on 44. I believe, though, they have got a 5-point deduction as a result of a late lineup submission. So that should be 39 points for them. And WSC are in 10th on 41 points. And I will just confirm that I'm right in what I was questioning there. I'm even questioning this myself, but I think it is RCR who was the ones that actually summoned their lineup late. So therefore, they are going to be starting on 39 points. And indeed it is RCR that have dropped the 5 points as a result of that. But F7R leading the way, Jamie. Outplayed Racing in second, 46 points behind. What can Outplayed Racing do to get back on top? This is potentially one of the tracks that they can.
Well, as the tracks that they can, they just need to try and maximize everything they can in terms of strategy, pace as well, working together, because we've seen F7R, the likes of Aurelien and Yossi and others that have been participating too. They've done a phenomenal job as a result for their team as well. But Outplayed Racing, there's three races left to go. It's a short season this season, so not many opportunities or chances, and they can't afford to make any mistakes. So there's high big pressure for them if they want to make any amends towards F7R. And NLR is actually about 26 points behind Outplayed Racing. So what would OP do? Will they focus on F7R? Will they keep it on LLR? Because NLR recently, having 2 wins off the back of Austria and the Belgian Grand Prix, good form recently. Can they keep it up? And I know they're quick in the wet conditions too, and it is raining too for good measure. So we'll see their wet qualifier session so far, and let's see how OP do, because they're really got to step up their game now if they want any chances to get towards F7R.
Yeah, definitely. So let's have a quick rundown of this lineup, because I think everything is going to happen in the first 3 minutes of this session. We've got Matteo and Hazara in for ET8 in the Red Bulls, then Macho and Tom in the Mercedes for Shazoo. F7R representing the McLarens, of course, by Yossi and Francesco. Then RCL Mazzolso and Felcors in the Aston Martins. Ghost King and YCN in for the Alpines for G League. Then Bender and Louis Valentine in for OP in the Ferraris. Wundex and Hugo in the AlphaTauris for WSC. Then Excelino and Gavano. Interesting lineup, I've got to say, from their perspective in the Williams. Jeslar and Vita Bray there in the Maltese man, of course, from TML fame in the Alfa Romeo. And PGS Benny and CC Brain are in the Haas as well. Let's have a look, though, at the conditions out on track, and, well, just look at that. It is soft compounder tyres for now, but I think, as I said in my introduction there, I think everything is going to happen in the first 3 minutes of the session, because everyone's on a set of soft compounder tyres. The track is wet, which means potentially we could see a transition to inters very shortly.
Yeah, indeed. So I think it'll be a mad dash. But considering there's only about 5 drivers on the track now, maybe 6 with the Alfa Romeo coming out, there's still a lot of drivers in the pit lane. So is it going to be easy enough? Is this Inter's going towards drier to compound tyres? Is it just started rain? Well, is it rained earlier on and now it started to dry out? We'll see. Or has it started raining now? We'll get wetter later. But if it's going to get wetter later, they won't explain why there's a lot of drivers in the pit lane. So here comes Hazara coming towards the penultimate corner. So brand new conditions. This is Inter, so this one lap could be critical there for Hazara's DRS is enabled, but he's in the pit lane, so it might not be good enough for dries, And let's see if people go on the Inters.
Yeah, let's have a look. Matteo, I think, is actually coming back in the pit lane as well. Yeah, Matteo is actually coming back in the pits as well, as is the Alfa Romeo. They've gone out on a set of soft compound tyres, and instantly I said it would be Inters very, very shortly indeed. That's what they're doing. They're coming back into the pit lane. Nobody giving away, by the way, in the Discord in terms of the weather forecast, but in terms of the weather that we've got right now, it is going to be very interesting. We have got, I believe, the Williams of Gavano coming through the final corner. He's actually going to go for a run on a set of soft compound tyres. We'll see on board with Gavano in towards turn 1. Normally, lap times in the dry around here, around a 106 or 107 in the dry, but in these very much nearly intermediate condition tyres, it's going to be around a 113, 114, you would imagine, on this lap as Gavano now comes to the left-hander banking at turn number 3. And again, really trying to squirrel the car on the exit. I took a race win around here, by the way, in Zandvoort, and I was absolutely delighted to take the race win as well by 2.5 seconds. But Gavano, in that first second, 26.2, coming through Sky Flag there at turn number 7, then into Marlborough corner at turn number 8, into the right-hander of turn number 9, and then the Zandvoort-sponsored corner, of course, there at the left-hander of turn number 10. And the Dutchman, of course, looking to try and provide a good result on home soil, like Sam Gaiman did in WR Legacy Division last night as well in Canada. But Gavano now in towards this middle sector split to 52.5. It's actually not too far off what we normally see. It's about 3 seconds off in the middle sector. Now coming to the left-hander of turn number 11 and 12. Then in towards the infamous Ari Lundijk section, coming to the right-hander of 13, then through the banking at Ari Lundijk at turn number 14, and on the run toward the line we would go with Gavano, and already, as I mentioned there, 113, 114 to 115.344 for Gavano. He was the only driver actually on a lap, but Louis Valentine decided to go, you know what, I'm going to go for fresh set of Inters, and he's only 5 tenths quicker, so that's actually a little bit of a shock.
Yeah, very intriguing lap times there. Only 5 tenths of a deficit too, so a lot of drivers still in the pit lane. So I'm not quite sure what's the strategy around here either. But there's got a few more cars out on the circuit with 2 of them on the intermediates then. So the intermediates are the best bet so far, even though the dry compound tyres aren't far away if you take into good account by Giovanna's lap time, only 5 tenths off. So that's very interesting. 5 minutes in, 2 lap times on the board, the rest of them in the pit lane except 2, which are the out laps. So this is a very interesting qualifying session with one of them being disqualified from qualifying, which is RCR Matozo. So let's see how the rest of qualifying plays out, whether the dries or the inters are the best way to go, or drivers waiting in the pit lane ready for the dry period. Who knows? DRS is still activated, so could it get dry towards the end? Is that why everybody's waiting? They don't want to risk it out there just in case they come into contact or make contact and lose the tyres. We'll see. They wouldn't risk it in this qualifying session just yet. They want to wait out to the end.
Coming through the banking on board with Ari Lundijk, I was going to say there, on board with Louis Valentine. He's actually coming through on another lap, on another run, on a 14.828. He's actually 17 hundredths down. He was 2 tenths up in the middle sector, but lost his ERS coming through that part of the lap. So Louis Valentine not improving there. Benny just on up on a lap along with Jeslar. Jeslar, of course, in the Alfa Romeo 4X Esports, 26.2 in the first sector, not looking too bad at all. Coming through the Sky Flag section at turn number 7, then through Marlborough corner at turn number 8, and then in towards the right-hand at turn number 9. Again, I will remind everyone that I won around here in Zandvoort in Liga Europe Division 4. Yes, it was in Division 4, but I can still boast that I won around here. Now it comes through the left-hand at turn number 10, and in towards this middle sector split, and we'll see on board this middle sector, 52.9, pretty much on par with what Gavano was setting in terms of his lap time. So we should be seeing around a mid-15 potentially here, or maybe a low 15 if he really tries to fly out the final couple of corners. Through the right-hander now at turn number 13, then through the banking at turn number 14 once again. 44% of ERS left on the car. As now comes through towards the line, does Jesdon. Going to go slower than Gavano, 15.8. The conditions definitely worse than if you want a set of softs.
Yeah, indeed. So I think all the drivers there just waiting the pit lane as PSG Benny looks like he's
He had a
lagged out a
spin.
bit. So hopefully he can get back in the session.
He had a spin there.
He did indeed. He was in AI because I was aboard with him while he was commentating over Jeslo. I switched over to him. It looks like he was driving an AI, so I'm not quite sure if it's him or his AI made a mistake. But I think he's going for a lap now. Is PSG Benny as he heads into first corner? He just finished a lap 22.5, but obviously not representative. 10 minutes left to go. All these drivers waiting for the best conditions towards the end. It's going to be so interesting. But PSG Benny, be really careful though, because he had a big lock up heading to turn number 3. It looks like he's had a problem with the wheel or something because as soon as he touched the brakes, the car locked up immediately. I saw this in another division as well, where he got on throttle, the car spins out immediately. You can see him testing the brakes and throttle, so he might have a problem with his wheel, explaining why he's going into AI most of the time.
Yeah, definitely don't actually see, because I'm in the PGS Discord, so this might be an advantage for me to actually try and look and see if there's any complaints going on from Benny. There's not, so Benny not actually complaining in the public Discord. He normally does when he does have an issue, so Benny, very surprising there, but if he's got an issue, he's got an issue. 22.5, his personal best right now. He will improve that, I'm sure, as the session goes on. But it's very rare that we've got 8 minutes gone, pretty much halfway through the session. The F7R boys now coming out on track. Francesco and Yossi, both going on a set of intermediate compound tyre. These guys are staying in the pit lane are saying, and Louis Valentine's just actually mentioned it in the Discord, saying about it's going to be dry in the race. They are hoping for the conditions to dry at the end of this session. If they don't, they're in trouble. They're going to be in significant trouble, I think, out on track. Macho's gone out on a set of soft. The rain is easy enough coming through where the North Sea basically faces, just in the background, coming through that Skyflak section at turn number 7 on board with Francesco. So the rain is easy enough, but it's going to depend on how fast this track actually dries. The rain is still falling. It's very, very minimal right now. But if the rain stops in the next couple of minutes, we will get dry running towards the end.
Yeah, indeed. I can see a few people opting to go for the soft hard tyres elected in the pit lane. Both McLarens out there on a set of inters, so it is drying up out there. Are they going to go back in the pit lane and put a set of dries on? Because I think it's heading towards the dries more than the wetter part. So I think the dry compound tyres may be used. We'll see, because one of them is about to cross the line, which is Yossi in P16. So he's actually going to go for a lap, is Yossi. So both McLarens out there, but looks like he's getting drier and drier by the second. He heads down into turn 1. It's still spitting with rain in certain parts of the track. The majority of it looks bone dry to me as we head into turn number 3 then, and downhill banker into turn number 4. The banking helps you with the minimum speed as you build up throttle, then upshifting through the gears then as we're making our way out of turn number 4 with heavy loss of wheel spin. You don't want to touch that curve on the inside there as it's a fast flowing part of the track. 25.5 in the first sector, so decent first lap there from Yossi as he makes his way out of the fast right-hander, heading into turn number 7, I believe that is, or turn number 8 as we head into this double right-hander here. A bit wide on the exit there, coming out of the right-hander, heading into turn number 10 then. Let's see how he takes this. You don't want to use too much of the curb on the inside because you over-rotate the car, but he had a definitely massive snap of oversteer on the exit there as we head towards the end of the middle sector with a 51.4 purple middle sector so far from Yossi, with his teammate right behind him too. But I can see majority of drivers then opting to go for the soft compound tyres out there. So what will McLaren do? Will they stay out there, do a lap, or will they come back in the pit lane immediately and try and get some driving in?
Potentially so. F7R though, yeah, Yossi's coming back in. He is done. I was going to say the intermediate compound tyres are not working on a dry surface like that. Francesco is also into the pit lane. And now we're going to get the proper qualifying session beginning as Macho was on a lap at 25.2 out of that first sector. He has got a car just in the way coming through turn number 10. But 50 flat through the middle sector for Macho, on par with what we normally see through the middle sectors now. So the track has dried remarkably quickly, actually, quicker than what even I was expecting. This Macho now comes through in towards the banking. The homeboy hero, of course, one of many Dutchmen here tonight. Yossi now coming through, Macho even coming through the final corner on the run to the line. That's more like it, a 111.6. We are still about 4 or 5 seconds off, at least, in terms of the proper running and the proper lap times that we're going to see setting in. But the track is drying, everyone else on the set of soft compound tyres, which means it's going to be very interesting to see how drivers get on out on track. Let's hope for no illegal blocking as well. Drivers have been told to behave themselves as well, especially coming through the final part of the banking, coming through to 13 and 14. Wondex is on a lap time right now. He's there in 11th position with no lap time set on the board, but he was purple in the first sector ahead of Macho, so looking to try and provide a good result for WSC. And WSC, of course, now in 9th position with RCR's 5-point grid drop, of course, with their late lineup submission. WSC now are going to be bouncing, especially because they were running so well until they got very unlucky in Austria last week.
Yeah, that's unfortunately there, but that's costly in the championship. I saw Mercedes go slowly out of turn over there. I'm not quite sure who that was, whether it was Shizu, Tom, because we saw Macho actually finish his lap. So I think Mercedes, look at one decks in WSC, but CC Bray might beat it, which it does at 10.8. So these lap times will come in thick and fast. Mercedes in the pit lane, that is Macho. So I think it was Tom who actually spawned as Jeslar goes quickest with a 10.4. So I think Tom might have carried too much speed through turn 8 as Mercedes was stranded on the track as he went for a flying lap, which he is on a flying lap. Had to abandon it, obviously, with that spin. So he's in the pit lane now.
Hazaras are going to set a very good middle sector, 48.5 in that middle sector. More on par, as I say, with what we're seeing in terms of this drying track, in terms of this drying runs, as Mateo now goes quickest, but it's going to be obliterated by the Norwegian as he now comes through the final corner. Does Hazara on the run to the line, surely going quicker? He does, 109.6, puts it out of the water compared to Mateo. 4/10 of a second clearer than his teammate. Gavano now comes quickest with the 109.647. Bender now goes quickest for the 109.1. Absolutely obliterator. Axelinho there going second, the German. The former TML champion, of course, back in the day. Yossi as well, just on up on a lap. Bray and Hugo on the run to the line, going then to 6th position, but still loads of lap time to be set. Jeslar Bolobow's purple in the middle sector, so he might be actually going on a lap. Sorry, Bray, I should say, is actually purple in this middle sector, but the Maltese man is purple on his lap. He's actually backed off. He's actually back into the pit lane as the Maltese man. But Yossi, 24.1 in the first sector. Lightning quick from the Swiss man. He's been in good form this week already.
Yeah, 24.1. That's 1/10 quicker than what Benza managed to do on his lap on the soccer part side. So this lap shaped up to be a great one as his teammate Francesca starts a flying lap then in the second McLaren, as now Yossi makes his way down into the end of the middle sector. 47.7. You can see the amount of speed he can carry through the corners as well without going too wide, and managed to collect it as well. The amount of confidence and grip he has in that McLaren. Into the penultimate corner we go. DRS enabled on the banking, by the way, on the exit before the final corner. Now flat out all the way down towards the line. Is this going to be in the 8s? No, he's pitting. He's abandoning it.
What? I'm shocked.
He wants the best conditions towards the end, doesn't he?
He wants the best conditions, but also, is he saving that compound tyre potentially for a little bit later on in the race and then transition onto a set of soft compound tyres? Safety cars are normally quite prone around here. Is he going for a scrub set? Is he put that on a scrub set and then going to use that up? Because, of course, he ran on a set of inters, so he's actually saved a free set for the end of the race. So F7R definitely going to be cooking. Francesca was on a lap right now, 47.4 in the middle sector. We'll see if he's going to do the same with very limited time running. I wouldn't be surprised if he does, and he does. So Francesco's into the pit lane as well. He is done for the session at least. Benny is on a lap as well. Looking like Benny in the Jets right now as the PGS man. Running up the hill, 23.999. Not the number that he wants to be ringing certainly tonight. Not the number that you can certainly ring in the Netherlands, that's for sure. But Benny coming through turn and braid, looking very quick. As soon as I say that, though, he's gone completely off coming through turn and braid, like Tony Hawk.
Yeah, just carried too much speed and just bumped over the curbs and just couldn't find a way out. So as soon as you touch those curbs, that's your way out of here onto the gravel, onto the grass, unfortunately. Like Nick Latifi did, I think, back in 2022, or was it Logan Sargent? I can't actually remember now. But PSG Benny had to abandon that lap time then. That's a big risk, for both McLarens down there, P17, P19, because they will only have the one lap time if they come out now. And if they invalidate it or such, or have problems with traffic or anything like that, or make a mistake by themselves, they're 17th to 19th, depending if Velkars and Tom can improve as well. Tom on his out lap in the Mercedes there. We didn't see him on his lap, but I did because he spun coming out of turn number 9. Didn't quite see what fully happened. I just saw Mercedes stranded on the track, on the full map track, so he was the one that spun. But look at that, James, a mad dash out of the pit lane.
Yeah, mad dash out of the pit lane could bring illegal blocking into play as well at the end of this session. Hopefully not, because we do not want a restart. I want to watch Big Brother a little bit later on. Benzer out on top. Louis Valentine in second. It's an OP1-2. It's an NLR 3-4. We haven't seen that, I think, all season, to be honest, between the two teams. Actilini and Gavano there, third and fourth, doing a good job. Now, I was speaking to myself before you joined the Discord call, and I was literally looking at the grid, and I was thinking, Gavano really in? He's been in an academy this season, and he's there promoted to the main team, in fourth position, behind Axelinho, doing a good job so far. but it's not the sort of lineup I was actually expecting NLR to actually put in for EML tonight. I was expecting like a full-on, proper lineup. Not that Gavano's a good driver. He is. He's a very, very solid driver on his day. As
Oh,
Macho! Macho! What on earth are you doing, my son? 5-second penalty. A 5-place grid penalty even for legal blocking, which means we get a restart. Woohoo!
Do you know what? I wasn't surprised. The amount of people that are backed up into that middle and last sector, I wasn't surprised whatsoever. So, yeah, there's the consequences. And that's what happens
Oh,
with
one
a
deck's
wet
in the wall.
session.
One deck's in the
Oh,
wall.
dear.
Goodness knows what happened there. Coming through the right-hand return number 2. I'm just watching this on the replay cam back. Oh, and he's gone wide coming through turn number 3, and he's crashed it into the wall. And that is a shame for one decks.
There's a Ferrari. There was a Ferrari who overtook everybody. They're all going through. This could be a bit of a mess, you know, as the time ticks down and they're all going one by one on the lap. But some people have opted, no, I don't want to be in this traffic. I'm just going to go for it. There's 15 seconds left on the clock. Both McLarens coming around the final corner, so they just get in the nick of time. What about the last guy who's coming towards the lap? The Red Bull.
Yeah, Benny's in trouble potentially coming across the line as well. I think he's just got in with about 4 seconds to go. Yeah, he's fine. So Benny is actually fine on this lap. Well, we're on board though with drivers that are on a run right now. Hugo going quickest, 108.5. That will not last though, because Benz is 5/10 up in the first sector alone as the OP man now comes in toward the middle sector, and he's a second up through the middle sector. So Benz are absolutely fine. The PSGL PSF1 man looking to try and provide a good result as Axelinio now goes quickest, 108.3, but it's going to be somewhat behind what Benzer is setting here. This is a mid 107 right here from Benzer. Comes through the final corner of the banking on the run to the line. Should be around a 107.7, 107.9 in the end, but it's still 4/10 quicker than Axelinio. Solid lap from him. Louis Valentin matching in the middle sector, 47.3 in the middle sector, so he's one to watch out for. Jeslar going 5th, Tom now going 2nd. Louis Valentin though, the Frenchman, now coming in toward the final couple of corners. The winner in WR Legacy Division of Monaco, looking to try and provide and get back to the same result as Gavano goes 2nd. Tom there in 3rd, goes King now in 4th. Now Macho 3rd. Louis Valentin to the line goes 2nd. It's an OP 1-2, but for how long? F7R's Francesco to the line, 11th. 11th for Francesco, that's a shock. Yossi down in 7th. Benny now on the run to the line, 47.5 in the middle sector. Doesn't go quickest. And in the end, it's an OP 1-2, I believe. Just looking at the grid when it comes up very soon indeed. But I believe that is an OP 1-2, and they are back to form. They are indeed, and it's Benza out on top. Louis Valentin there in 2nd. Gavano there in 3rd. Solid laps, and it's a 1-2 for OP. They're back.
Yeah, it's great for OP, a massive confidence booster as well. And their rivals are P7 and in P14. Francesca, I was on board with him at turn number 1. He locked up massively, and unfortunately that lap time was ruined before he really got started. He outbroke himself and locked the rears up to Francesca. So P14 are best for him, and let's see what they can do with the race. Could they have they gone for the second lap time? Who knows? Well, I mean, like, before they pitted, should they set their lap times first? They didn't even have a bank to compare themselves to, so they didn't really have an idea how quick they were going. But fortunately, it was quite a bit of a mess, you know, into that final corner when everybody was going off one by one. There was a Ferrari, he was just passing everybody on his outlap to just make his way to the traffic and not get caught up in any BS or whatsoever. So, yeah, that's the reason why. I'm not quite sure which Ferrari it was, but anyways, it's a 1-2, so they can leave it behind, and that was great work there for both OP boys, which was much needed in the championship sake as well. Giovanni in P3, like I said, coming from academy, he's doing a really good job. So I wouldn't really, well, it's hard to judge somebody. Well, it's easy to judge somebody judging by where they've been so far in the season, but you never know, they could shake up a surprise later on, and that's exactly what he's done so far, proving wrong.
Yeah, Tom mentioned that in the chat. I was literally about to come on to that before he's just tagged me on Discord. Don't underestimate Gavano, James. Yeah, he's put a P3 and made me to look like an absolute mug. Put it that way. Drivers are going to retire, by the way, in the lobby. It is spitting... Is it spitting the rain out on track? I think it is. Is it spitting the rain? I'm going to have a closer look. We're going to get everyone crashing out, by the way, but it looks like... Oh, we've got a safety car anyway, so it's all fine. Everyone's going to retire, hopefully very soon. But we've got everyone with the lights now retiring in the pit lane. Hopefully people are going to crash out. Hopefully people will get going very soon indeed. But yeah, let's have a look at the grid lineup once again, and let's have a look at putting in focus, of course, on OP, because Ben's and Louis Valentin First and second in the end, as Louis Valentine has actually, Benz has just crashed into the safety car there on my screen. But Benz and Louis Valentine, first and second, a 107.9 and a 108 flat. Still a little bit off on what times we normally see around here. But OP back to their brilliant best. And that is what we want to see, I think, from them. They're 46 in deficit to F7R. F7R with Yossi and Francesco. Francesco especially having a shocker. It's really all to play for OP. We are going to get the restart going, by the way, which is good, which is very, very good. Mateo's mentioned in the chat that could be bugged. Potentially, though, I think to maybe sacrifice that, we could set up a new lobby.
Yeah, I think it's best because we've already got a glitch in this lobby, but the safety car appeared out before the race got started. So I think it's best to we have a new lobby to make sure there's nothing like this ever again, and just make sure that nothing we can just prevent this from happening. We've already seen a safety car, so I might as well have a brand new lobby now. So I'm going to discuss it with the admins in the chat and see what's happening. But it looked like it was raining though, so I might have to get some information from the boys in the chat whether it was going to be light rain or whatever to dry. Who knows? But definitely rain on the way.
Yeah, definitely. So apologies, by the way, that we didn't actually get the full rundown of the grid. I've just been mentioned in the admins about that. Yeah, we were just busy waffling on about goodness knows what. But we are going to get restarted. It is going to be a new lobby. I think it makes sense, to be honest, why we have a new lobby. But yeah, we'll get going very soon indeed. We'll go on a slight intermission break for now. We'll get everything sorted, and then we'll be back with you in a few minutes' time. So sit back, relax, enjoy the absolute silence of this stream. But we'll be back with you in a few minutes. Welcome back, everyone, to EML F1. We are here tonight for round 7 of the championship. Even goodness me, it's the Dutch Grand Prix. It's the Zandvoort Circuit. My name's James Head, of course, Jamie Morris, the birthday boy, alongside me in the commentary box. And well, Jamie, we are in for an interesting night. F7R out on top in terms of the championship, 246 points, but falling by the wayside in qualifying. OP with a 1-2. 46 points behind. How are they going to cope with now the added pressure of being 1-2 to start off this race?
1-2, perfect place to be. So they don't want to fight each other if they can help it in the first two corners. He's got to keep it nice and clean, try and use each other's DRS and try and slingshot each other as well and keep the guys behind. That's their target for tonight if they can do so. And also F7R, how are they going to come back to this? Because look, Yossi, who's been scoring podiums quite recently in EML so far, doing a great job. I don't think Yossi yet this season has got a win to his name, and it was Aurelian who's got a win to his name. So it's still Yossi. Yeah, Yossi's got a win. He's back in Qatar Grand Prix. Yeah, back on Qatar Grand Prix. I don't know what I'm looking at. My eyes here deceiving me once again. I'm literally looking at it right in front of me. It's Aurelian who is in second place there in Qatar. So F7 are looking good, but on the back foot a little bit in terms of qualifying, especially Francesco down in P14. So it's going to be a recovery drive for both McLarens, and let's see if they can make their way up towards the top, as both NLR drivers are looking good so far. In the session as well, they try and progress towards P2 in the championship. They're not too far behind OP as well, so they'll be looking to put a challenge as OP have to focus on one team and keep an eye on the other team behind them, which is NLR. So a lot to worry about for OP in the championship standings, trying to go for the championship and also trying to keep NLR behind.
Yeah, definitely so. It's going to be really interesting. Yossi, it was only 2 weeks ago as well. It was when you were sick, I think, so that's why it might be that you weren't there for Yossi. We will forgive you for that. Yossi there, of course, won in Qatar and took the second place, of course, last week. But enough about that. 5 Friday nights about to go out here in the Netherlands, round number 7 of the championship. And it is lights out and away we go. Thank God for that. Benza and Louis Valentin lead the way down towards turn 1 at Tarzan. Gavano and Macho was side by side in the background of the shot as well. Oh, it was a real late breaker in the back when that was the Alpine of a Ghost King, I think. Nearly into the back of Yossi. Just about got away with it. Benza, though, leads in toward the banking for the first time. From Louis Valentin there in second. Gavano there in third. Macho trying to hang that on the outside of Tom. He's now up to fourth. And now Yossi trying to fight the way up to the hill in towards Sky Flag at turn number 7. Bear with, because this is going to be hell. This is going to be helter skelter from Yossi, and they're round. Goodness me. Yossi contacts the back of Macho. Macho was sent round. Yossi round as well. And the other F7R man of Francesco on the wall, and that's a VSC. VSC deployed out on track. Francesco making a mistake, getting caught up in that contact. He is out of the race. Drama early on for F7R.
An absolute nightmare for F7R there. They're both at the back of the field as one of them's retired and the other one is down in P17. They're trying to go through with Matcha, hit the back of him and ultimately spun him around too. So it's a shame for Matcha, the Dutchman at his home Grand Prix there in P19 being spun around, and also for Yossi as well. So a dream start for OP, and they could control the pace now in P1 and P2. They've built a gap to Tom already over a second in P4s then, so as Hugo's left the session, I'll get him back through, but I don't expect anybody to pit here. It's going to be a dry race towards the end. Interestingly, 2 drivers on a set of soft compound tyres, probably anticipating an early safety car during this race, as majority on hards. You get racing once again.
We do get racing once again, and one of them on the set of soft compound tyres is Jesler on the back of Benny, going side by side now into the right-hand return number 2. Does the Alfa Romeo, trying to hang out the Haas to dry, coming in toward the banking now. To the left-hand return number 3, trying to get the job done. Beautiful switchback actually on the exit, and now is going to try and run side by side a lot we saw with the likes of Yossi as well. But in the end, he's not going to get the job done, and Jesler will remain in behind, which is what arguably I think Yossi should have done on the back of Macho. Was very much a blocking effect as well from Jizu. Definitely going to be looked at by the stewards regardless. Benton though leading the way. Louis Valentin in second. They've realised what's happened to F7R, and they are now beginning to pull away with Gavano out in front. 1.3 seconds over Tom in fourth. Then Ghost King, Hazara, CC Brain as Benny's gone for a spin. I was about to say he's in 8th position, but he's now spun. He's going the wrong way on track as well. Going to be very careful he doesn't get disqualified. Benny though coming back round. Goodness me, not a great start at all for PGS. PGS there as well with that other driver in CC Brains up in 7th position, and the pressure from Jeslar coming through the banking once again. So Benza leads, Louis Valentine in 2nd, Gavano there in 3rd, a little bit of desync going on in towards turn 1, maybe because Hugo's rejoined the session as Jeslar looks the outside line through turn number 1, now through the right under turn number 2 at Tarzan, up and under, beautifully sold, and now CC Brain's going to try and get the elbows out, but can't get the elbows out when you've got the old compounder tyres on, and it's Jeslar Thuni's into 7th. Nice battling between them both, and an even better move.
Yeah, good move there from Jeslar. Had to get it done on the soft compound tyres. He can't afford to linger there anymore.
Oh, he's gone off!
He can help it.
Oh.
Has he?
He desynced. He desynced the mine, and this is my connection going.
Yeah, he's still in P7, unfortunately for him. And Yossi is up into P13. He overtook one Dex, I think, into turn 1. So that was a crucial move there as he's trying to progress further into the field then. The sole remaining McLaren in P13 there, having to try and get as many points as he can after making contact with Matcha as well. Matcha is still there in the race. He's actually at the back of him now into turn number 11. We go Yossi up the inside of Matozo. Remember, both Aston Martin started last. They're 11th and 13th. One of them on the soft compound tyres. They made up great ground. But one of them on the soft compound tyres, they're trying to make a move, but he's stuck in that DRS train. As Tom is finally in the DRS train of Giovanni as he dropped out of it a few laps ago. Having to use a bit of his battery, but that could save some. Now he's in that DRS range of the top 3 there. So it's be spiced up to be a really great race.
The Frenchman and Matzoso on the back there, and the Swissman of Yossi in towards turn 1 at Tarzan as well. Matzoso there trying to repass the back of the F7R man. Abdallah there saying in the chat, Yossi yesterday in WR went from P20 to P2, yeah, got robbed of the victory as well from Sam Gamer on the final lap of the race. If you didn't watch it, go and tune in for that a little bit there, because it was a fantastic end. I commentated over that in Canada, and it was a fantastic race. Go and watch that back a little bit later on. But you should be in the present. You should be watching this right now. Benza leads the way from Louis Valentine in 2nd, Gavano there in 3rd. OP have got the stranglehold on the race early on. But then in Tom and Ghost King, you've got pretty much the front 6, I think, now within DRS range of each other. Jeslar trying to hang on there with that Soft compounder tyre. In terms of the tyres, by the way, around this track, Soft should last for around 12 or 13 laps into the race, maybe even sooner. Could see drivers potentially pit in from around lap 9 or lap 10. Anybody on a set of medium compounder tyres, like CC Brain, Benny and YCN, Benny and CC Brain especially, they're opting to go mediums to hards. They'll probably get towards around the halfway stage, about lap 16, 17 for a pit stop. And then anyone on a set of hards, they can actually split into 2 strategies. They can go set of mediums, which is probably the better off strategy, which is the strategy that I won on around here and went through and obviously came out, I think it was 14 laps I did on the mediums to the end. Or they can go potentially for Set of Soft's compounder tyre, not too indifferent to the mediums around here. So therefore, drivers have got a choice towards the end of the race, and especially looking at Yossi in particular with Francesco and out of the race. Yossi saved that fresh Set of Soft compounder tyre, so could be actually a blessing in disguise given where he is in the field.
Yeah, and so he sacrificed a set of softs. He went to the intermediates early doors in that session as well. Also, he went in towards the end of his fast lap too, so it didn't take too much life out of his soft compound tyres. So he does have that set of softs in his disposal to use later on. Can he catch the back of Velkos, who's on the soft compound tyres, just dropped out of the DRS range of XV in P10. Once again, X Esports are in the top 10 for the time being. As Sam Kullerman's last time out was there in the top 10 for X, and now it's Jeslar and XV, and Axelino's got up the inside. Easy. In fact, it's not up the inside, we could overtake him on the straight.
Yeah, easy. I watched on board with that. Very, very simple move for Axelinio. CC Brains mediums. Maybe going off the cliff slightly. Maybe just overheating slightly. Axelinio through and he's into 8th position. The TML Season 9 Drivers Champion, by the way. If anybody's been wondering, by the way, why TML has actually not restarted, it's because there's not enough people to actually run the league, which is why we are sacrificing this to give you more EML and to give you the European Esports Championship as well, which is going to come later on in the season. That's going to be, of course, from December the 6th, with the qualifiers happening a week before as well. We will, of course, plug that towards the end of the stream. But Ben's there leading the way from Louis Valentine in 2nd, Gavano there in 3rd, Tom there in 4th. Looking like a typical Dutch Grand Prix, I think, early on. It is just a plain old DRS train out on track, but Tom, I think, is going to look for the move on Gavano. He's got 40% of ERS. Gavano's got 92, so he's actually sacrificing his battery to defend off a little bit later on in this first stint. But Tom, really shocking exit coming out of the banking, really under pressure now from the back of Ghost King in towards turn 1. But Tom, through the corners, looks absolutely excellent. Shazoo definitely looking like they're cooking in terms of the strategy. And Tom so far doing a good job with Macho, of course, spinning with Yossi further down the field. Macho there down in 15th. Shazoo Tom has got to make up the ground. And he has, of course, picked up a podium around here as well. The last time he came here, of course, was in Season 4. And it was Taicho Hardy that actually took the win around here. And that is just completely and utterly making me feel old.
Yeah, Tom got a podium last time at Austrian Grand Prix, but it wasn't easy for him either because he was one of the 3 drivers in that top 3 with Aurelien and Cameron Dowds, who picked up that drive-through penalty under the VSC, made a comeback drive through to field 2, has left Cameron Dowds and Aurelien in the dust there. Now Tom fights the back of Giovanna. Giovanna's doing a really great job, in P3 for NLR. So let's see if we can keep this pressure on. He's sticking in his DRS train, got a lot of EOS in his disposal. Yossi has overtaken Velkos as well. His tyres might be slightly dropping off, and the hard compound tyres could be a little bit better in comparison to his hard. So yeah, he's got past him. Next target is XV, who's got a penalty, by the way. Not quite sure if that's a 3. It's a 5-second time penalty, so must have cut the corner somewhere.
No, it was ignoring yellow flag, I think, after that bit of contact that we had with the VSC. Is actually Velkos is coming back at Yossi and towards turn number 1. Was looking for the move there. But yeah, it was a 5-second penalty, ignoring the yellow flag. So unfortunate for Bray, but he's a very consistent driver on his day, and he will get that opportunity to serve in the pit stop. Unlike one of the drivers last night in Legacy Division, where we had 3 safety cars and he couldn't actually serve up his drive-through penalty and ended up getting disqualified from the race, which was absolutely shocking on the Codemasters part and on the game's part, where you can't even serve up a drive-through penalty underneath the safety car. I mean, it is real-life rules and everything, but then again, it's just an absolute joke from last night. Anyways, Velkos has actually dropped behind Matosa. Matosa now has been given free rein to try and close in on the back of Yossi. RCR doing a good job right now. WSC, after their strong showing in Austria for the first half of the race, they're struggling here in the Netherlands. Wundex and Hugo, they're 14th and 17th position. They've got Macho and Mateo, 2 very, very good drivers on their day, right in behind and right in front of them. So, with anything, that is going to spur them on a little bit to maybe just go that little bit quicker, get out and start 110%. Or is Louis Valentin is deep in towards turn number 1 there. Bender leads the way, Louis Valentin in second, Gavarno there in third. Lap 9 out of 36, a quarter of the way through here in the Dutch Grand Prix. And Bender there currently holding an OP1-2, which, as it stands right now, Yossi down 11th, and of course Francesco out of the race. So OP1-2, that amounts to me 55 points. At the minute, Yossi down 11th is only mounting 9 points. I think I might be right with the maths there. So it is a 40-odd point advantage, which means they're going to be pretty much even Stevens as it stands.
Yeah, they are, but there's still got plenty of laps to go in this race. Anything could happen in terms of safety cars. Well, both Ferraris having to think about a strategy, which driver's going to go first and which drivers will have to sacrifice, because I dare say that both Ferrari drivers will be split up after the pit stops as well. That tends to happen with the undercuts, as Yossi can try and make his way up through the field as well if there is a safety car. So let's see how many points OP can gain off Yossi, and it's going to be an incredible one towards the end as well, towards the end of the season, because we've got about 2 more races left after this, and with the points deficit being so small between the 2 teams, it's going to be a big championship fight, and that's when both drivers have to come into play, because Francesco, I don't know if he lost it on his own or he made contact with somebody, but him being out of the race is not going to help whatsoever then. So OP can gain a massive, huge chunk of points here tonight and try and take away with it. And Yossi having to work all by himself there in P11. Still got Matoso all over the back of him too, helping him with that DRS range. So he still hasn't done with the Aston Martin just yet, as he's trying to close in on XV Bray. 2.2 seconds behind, so that's where he's been quite in the last few laps now of this race. And already gained in on XV Bray, who's just outside the DRS range of CC Brain on those medium compound tyres then. So 26 left to go, and let's see what happens between all the end.
Yeah, definitely. So Yossi there in 11th. I've got to be honest, I was about to say the same thing. I think he's really struggling out there on track right now. There's a yellow flag, and that is Bray round actually coming through turn number 10 on the entrance into the corner. Very weird mistake actually to make. I actually did that in qualifying, I think, around 2 as well. So I can't really say that he's done the same thing as me, because he has. bright has spun, coming out of turn number 9, then into the entry of turn number 10. He's got the car back going again. He's in 14th position, but maybe those whole compound tyres will now begin to click as now he's dropped down the field and he's now right in behind. Hazara, though, on the back of Ghost King. 5th and 6th position currently out on track. The Red Bull on the back of the Alpine. The Alpine team doing a fantastic job right now. Ghost King, formerly, of course, of One Esports, One YCN as well, formerly of Team Mentalism, as Mundex has dropped 2 positions. Bray now through into 13th, Macho through into 14th, Mundex there down at 15th, not having a wonderful race so far at this stage in this wonderful time of the year with Halloween now at the way, Christmas on its way as well. Benza leads the way from Louis Valentine and second, Gavano there in third, and these drivers are going to hope to try and provide a bit of early Christmas cheer for you guys here in the Netherlands. Yes, I'm going on about Christmas. Yes, it's the 1st of November, and yes, I don't care.
Yeah, Christmas spirit, everybody's in almost, and Ghost King on the last lap was almost a second outside of DRS range. So he got himself back in there very quickly. He was under huge pressure from Hazara, who tried to take advantage, but obviously Ghost King was going to apply that ERS anyway to try to stick with the rest of them. The top 6 having their own battle there, with the 2 Ferraris split with NLR, Shazoo, G League, and ETA as well. So like 3 different teams in the top 6 right there. As you can see, Hazara went a bit deep into turn number 1, but collects the car really nicely through there. But Tozo's still in the back of Yossi, so not quite sure if Yossi's picked up some more damage in terms of bodywork damage. It may sustain a bit of that, or light front wing damage. Maybe not fitted to change that because obviously they want to lose too much time there. We see him move into turn number 1 between Macho and XVBray as he fell down the order due to that spin at turn number 10 there. Lost it on the entry towards the corner, so I'm not quite sure if the back of the car just stepped out on him as he tried to turn in from a wider angle. But yeah, he's under pressure from Macho, who's trying to make a comeback drive after being taken out, unfortunately, in turn number 7 by Yossi in P10. But on lap 12 of this race, the top 6 still within contention of each other. DRS. It's going to be a huge cat and mouse game in the DRS there between those guys until the pit stops start happening before we go on the medium compound tyres, and we'll see how it all plays out. Both Ferraris got great ERS management as you expect. They're not using it at all, just following each other and trying to stay in formation too and keep the rest of them behind. Giovanni can't do anything about it, of course, carrying the same speed on the straight as the rest of his rivals and just has the same P3 for the time being. But let's see, because in this DRS train, we do tend to see guys who go for an early undercut and try and get ahead of their rivals. So we might see a bit of that going on, and let's see who pits first out of this train later on in this race.
Yeah, definitely. So Maze, by the way, mentioned in the chat pretty much what I was doing in terms of my math skills. Even Stevens between the points, but now Yossi, because he's in 10th position, has got F7R 1 point ahead of OP. And who would not want to see that next week in round 8 of the championship? And I'm just going to confirm where we are, of course, next week. That, of course, is in Brazil. Brazil, a track where a bit of controversy was caused between both teams in PSGL last season. Hopefully we don't get to see that again, but OP against F7R, we want to see that in Brazil. Only a point separate them. Yossi, do your job and finish 10th, and OP, do your job and finish 1st and 2nd, because I would live every single breath of that battle, what we could see potentially in Brazil. But Benza leading the way, Louis Valentine in 2nd. Coming back to the serious points though, we could see potentially the OP guys splitting the strategies. I think it's Thomas closing in on the back of Gavano, running down in towards turn 1, but not quite through, not quite close enough to the back of him just yet. But I think in OP's standing point, what would you rather do if you were in that situation? Would you actually bring Benza in first, give him the advantage and give him the undercut advantage a little bit later on? Or would you put in Louis Valentine first, use your pace up with him, and then try and spread the field out in the second half of the race? It's an interesting proposal, but looking at them now, they're now a second clear Gavano, so I don't think it really matters what they do. They're just absolutely shining out on track.
Adam, that's look at Tom. He's got off the track at turn number 8. He took too much curb. He was riding the curb like someone did in qualifying, and now he's lost the place towards Ghost King and Azara. So that's a costly mistake there for Tom. But luckily, he didn't spin either, because that could have been a nasty one indeed. But just collected the car up. But yeah, back to your question, I'm not actually quite sure, because usually I see second place man pit before first place, and they do the undercut first. So we saw Shazoo do this, I think, a few races ago, where the second driver went in the pit lane and left the first one out. But we'll see. I think Louis is about to go for a move on his team. There it is.
Yep, there's the answer. Louis Valentine Thuni's into the lead of the race. Benza there in second. So it's plan B, in my reckoning. Use the pace up on Louis Valentine. Swap, I think, every single lap. And then try and bridge the gap out to Gavano and Ghost King. If they do this, it's a brilliant strategy call, I think, from the OP guys. They are absolutely cooking out on track. Ghost King on the back of Gavano, running up the hill now in towards Skyflak at turn number 7. The fastest part of this track, of course, here at Zandvoort. And first hosted Grand Prix in 1952, not 1980, as some of the historians are actually mentioning. 1952 was the first Grand Prix around here, and it was an Italian 1-2-3 in the end. It was Alberto Ascari taking the win in the end. I don't know who actually got, I can actually check in my notes who finished second and third, but it was an Italian 1-2-3, and that was the last Italian 1-2-3 in Formula 1 since, I think, the modern era. It's really, really something. We are looking for an Italian 1-2 here, though, in the outfit of OP, with Louis Valentine leading the way, the Frenchman, from Benza there in second, the German, and now Benza is going to swap once again with the race lead for the back of Louis Valentine. They're now being given free rein, as is Ghost King to the inside line of Gavano in towards turn number 1, and that is a more significant move from the Alpine. Thuni's into third for now, but that's Gavano trying to hook it on the inside line through turn number 1 at Tarzan, doesn't manage the job, as Jesler is into the pit lane. 15 laps on a set of soft compounded tyres, by the way. Very, very strong going there from the man in the Alfa Romeo, who will get a big undercut strategy going on, as I think Matteo's just gone through and Brian towards turn number 1 as well.
Yeah, soft to medium strategy, and actually he didn't lose too much time with the softs, the old softs as well. So great pace there from Jesler in P15. Like you said, going for the huge undercut with a new medium compound tyres. And we'll see how his pace benefits him towards the end of the Grand Prix then. So it looks like both OPs, going for full pace here, 1 and 2, leaving the rest behind. G League goes King. Can he try and claw his way through the field as well? G League, by the way, I think they're going for their second podium of the season as they claim the first one back in Japan with Ethan as well. I think G League have been there. They've been very close to a few podiums this season, but they only gained the 1. I thought they had more on their tally, but only 1 in Japan, which was a great race from G League Ethan. He was not here tonight. It is Ghost King and his teammate Juan Cien, who unfortunately down in P18.
It wasn't Ethan, it was actually GL Gilles, the 2-time F1 Esports Challengers, man. I'm just looking at the top 3 graphic that we've got, and yeah, it was Gil actually sprinting the OP pair of Nando and Daddlepad in Japan, and Gil did a fantastic job there. You thought it was Ethan. I was pretty sure it was Gil, and I had to double check that. So yeah, Gil there in second. It's your birthday. We can ignore it. We can absolutely ignore it. Anybody that gives him criticism in the chat, not needed. It's his birthday. Remember that. Benza leads the way from Louis Valentine in second. Ghost King there in third. 1.6 seconds out on track. Tom again running wide there, coming through the part of the track. Dirk saying in the chat, the OP are cooking. They're definitely cooking out on track. Cooking up potentially a pasta dish, arrabbiata, spaghetti bolognese, spaghetti and meatballs, pizza, pineapple on pizza. Yeah, whatever you like to call it, Italian cuisine. That's what they're cooking up. A chef's kiss right now for OP. Benza leading the way from Louis Valentine in second. We should see the split, I think, happen now in terms of their strategies, in terms of who's going to pit in a little bit later on. They're going to continue on for this lap, however. Louis Valentine, though, on the back of Benza. They're comfortable. 1.7 seconds clear. OP 1-2, but that's going to make it now a little bit more interesting, because Axelinho, the further that Benza and Louis Valentine and the front 6 stay out, Axelinho, on his fresh mediums, going to be really, really coming alive. Gain around of this track around about 4 seconds if you go back 2 or 3 laps on this stint. So if Axelinho can pit in now, and then everyone else comes in about 2 or 3 laps later, it's going to be around a 4.5 second advantage gain for Axelinho. And trust me, I did that in this race around 2 as well.
Yeah, huge undercut on the mediums against all the hards. The medium compound tyres warm up immediately as well. So Axelinho rejoins behind Jesler, who's pitted on the soft compound tyres to the medium compound tyres. Only 2 lap order as well, as he pursues his teammate, which ideally I think will let him go, considering he's on the fresher tyres and the faster car at the stage of the race. So let's see if any of these guys will respond here. Well, in the top 6, and will they dive to the pit lane at the end of this lap, seeing that Axelinho have gone to the pit lane? So let's see what happens here with both OPs.
Yep.
It's actually Louis Valentine, so the second man goes into the pit lane rather than the guy in first place.
And everyone's now had a chain reaction in behind, because Ghost King and Tom are into the pit lane as well. That'll be for a fresh set of medium compound of tyres. Louis Valentine in. Tom actually in. That was a very good camera transition, by the way. Ghost King now ahead of Tom. Tom now is actually, Ghost King, of course, still ahead of Tom. But where is Axelenio in all of this? He's actually coming through the final corner, so he's miles behind compared to everyone else. So no real undercut gain. But look at this. There's Macho, and there's Mateo. This is now hell on earth for Tom, because Macho actually has got Mateo right behind him. But Shazoo have got to let the driver through who's quicker, and that is Tom. He's there in 10th position. Could end up a bit pear-shaped, this. Tom and towards the right-hander of Skyflack at turn number 7. He's not going to go around the outside of here, is he? On this fresh set of mediums, around the outside of Skyflack. Can he get the job done? He's still there on the outside line. Can't find the way through. Mateo there in 9th. Tom there in 10th. Put it this way, Tom had cojones. He's got more cojones to go to the inside of turn number 9, sliding his way through the corner on 18 lap pressure tyres. This should be easy through turn number 10 for him. It is easy for Tom. He's got 3/4 of a car length ahead, now a full car length ahead. Tom through and he's into 9. Marvellous driving by the Brit.
Yeah, Tom there forcing the move as Benzo and Giovanni are in the pit lane too to respond to their rivals' calls. You can see both Mercedes swapping positions as you expect then. Tom ahead of his teammate, but Tom there daring on the brakes, heading into turn number 9. I thought they would both make contact into turn number 9, but Macho saw him coming, so Mateo saw him coming and gave him more space as they head down into turn number 1. We can see an Alfa Romeo on the inside now, but there he is then, Giovanni in P7. He's still ahead of Tom, and that was crucial.
Look at Ghost King, though, right on the back of the 2 Ferraris coming out of the pit lane. He's right on the back. Louis Valentine's got the fresher tyres. Is Ghost King going to try and upset the apple cart here? He's there in 6th position. Gavano and Tom are 2.5 seconds behind, pretty much, on the run towards Skyflack. If I was in the French team right now with Geely, I'd be literally doing that, pushing Louis Valentine all the way through this track, coming through turn number 8 at Moldra. Ghost King has got to find a way through on the back of Louis Valentine, put him under pressure, upset the apple cart. That's what he's got to do as he now comes in towards the right-hander at turn number 11. I don't think he's going to be close enough at this part of the track. He looks for a little bit of a late lunge. We have got Yossi as well just ahead of these guys, so this could be interesting. F7R and OP in a bit of an impromptu battle potentially. This could be interesting, but Benza leads the way, 0.6 of a second gap. Louis Valentine now with his fresher mediums beginning to come into play. CC Brown's into the pit lane as well. And now, are we going to see a change for the race? The net race lead? No, we're not. But Tom sets the fastest lap of the race. He is beginning to cook on the back, but he's got ground to make up, and he's got to make up that ground very quickly indeed if he wants to try and get on the back of the front 3.
That was crucial there for Ghost King to get the undercut because he's now on the back of these two. He was outside of DRS range a few laps before, and now he's got himself back in it. Has left Tom and Giovanni behind too. But Tom is ahead of Giovanni now, moves himself up into P6. So Tom being stuck behind that traffic was not able to follow Ghost King, and that's what upset him really, being stuck behind Mateo. So yeah, that's an upset there for Tom as he would have tried to look to stay with Ghost King so he can get involved in this battle. But this DRS train now has split up now with only 3 of them together. As you can see, Yossi going for that extra string. They're in a fight, OP and an F7R, but in different circumstances, as one of them's on much older tyres against fresher, so he might get swamped on the straight here. Nothing he can do about it can Yossi, so he might have to accept his fate on the straight. And both OPs, including Ghost King, might be going through as well. And let's see then, it's going to be quite easy with the DRS and the ERS as well. Will Yossi go to the pit lane? No, he doesn't. So, we've got a Haas who spun, but I don't think he'll cause a safety car. Here comes Benza on Yossi as we head down into turn number 1. Is his teammate going to follow through? No, he doesn't, but will he get a decent exit out of turn number 1? Yes, he does. Oh, contact as well. As Yossi lost it out of turn number 1, and he stays ahead of the OP driver, trying to go around the outside in the banking now. No, there's contact again, and he's almost in the wall. And now Geely King, Ghost King, is ahead of Louis. So despite being on older tyres, he is absolutely not willing to give this up. And now he lets Geely King go through. That must be an insult there for Louis.
That is drama. That is controversy. That's F7R versus OP. They hate each other, and they're hating each other even more after that. Yossi there in 4th now has got to try and park the bus. And again, a bit of contact. So slow coming out of the corner. He has been given complete instructions to hold OP up. OP now with Louis Valentine. Needs to go around the outside of turn number 11 ideally, but Yossi's so much later on the brakes. He's now going to cause absolute chaos in behind because Tom and Gavano are right there, chomping at the bit. F7R and OP get an early preview of Brazil here. Louis Valentine is on the back, and look at the gap that he's dropped. He's 2.5 seconds behind Ghost King, and look at that, it's a block effect again, and Yossi absolutely now into the pit lane. Tom now going to go side by side in towards turn number 1 as a result of that, but Louis Valentine leads still in 3rd. Tom there in 4th, Gavano there in 5th. It was fun while it lasted, but I think that there comes a point where you've got to be aggressive and where you've got to be too aggressive, and for me, that was too aggressive from Yossi. F7R, I could understand what the intentions were. Intentions, though, from my perspective, not that good.
Yeah, it's a bit too much there, and it's cost Louis now. He's actually Tom and Giovanni has actually caught up to him, so that battle has really hindered Louis' pace as he was right behind his teammate a few laps ago. Now finds himself Tom and Giovanni right behind him, so this has really cost him. And Louis, seeing that Ghost King was able to oh, look at this, he's made a mistake out of turn number 10, and now Tom's side by side with him as he gets ahead of him before turn number 11. So Louis here has really probably lost composure after that, probably a bit annoyed and peeved due to that block there by Yossi. But it's all part of racing, all part of the game. You try and do everything to hinder your opponents as well, try and get in their heads, and that's what we saw here. And now Louis has DRS the back of Tom, so let's see if he gets him into turn number 1 once again. But does Louis have the outright pace to catch Ghost King and Benza? I don't think so. I think he's left to fight with these two now for the rest of the race.
Yeah, it's tactical, actually. It's very tactical, I think, between Louis Valentine and Tom. Tom there in 3rd. Doesn't want to give up that position lightly. Put it this way, it's going to be a damn sight cleaner than what we saw with yours, even Louis Valentine a little bit earlier on. But Louis Valentine on the back, I think that's more tactical because he's got hardly any ERS left. He's got 19% running up in towards Skyflack at turn number 7. Gavano's in behind's got 62%. So if there is a time and there's a need to get the ERS back, it is now. Of course, energy recovery system, if you're new to Formula 1, which many of you might not be, but if you are, basically, as you break intra corners, Tom had a huge bit of a lag spike there on my end. Louis Valentine showing the case in this to good effect. Coming out of a corner, you're on the ERS, you waste that ERS away. Gives you a bit of a speed advantage. Into the braking zone, though, as we're seeing now, you can see that little bit of a percentage bar, 25%, that is gaining. Every time that the car brakes, they are gaining, they're recovering the energy, so they can use that down the straight. And Louis Valentine is going to instruct us right now by going, hopefully, to the inside line on Tom, in towards turn 1 for perfect instruction. There he goes, to the inside line, in towards turn 1. Thank you, Louis Valentine, for that. He's into 3rd.
Yeah, classic move there from Louis as he moves himself back in the podium. So, unfortunately for Louis, he's left. Macho's got a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane as those two are changing off the hard compound tyres to go on the softs from Matteo. What's Macho going to do on the brand new set of mediums as well? So, Matteo taking his softs towards the end. He probably saved them at his disposal. But Louis now is left to fight with Tom and Giovanni throughout the rest of the race. The battle for P3 is on. Which one of these three drivers is going to get a podium? If Giovanni can get it, that'd be a great drive from him. As James, you underestimated him at the start of the Grand Prix, but he's actually fighting for a podium now. So it's looking good for NLR so far. His teammate Axelino is in P8 with Hazara in P7. Hazara went out for a longer stint as well on the hard compound tyres. So let's see if he might be clawing his way back towards this battle soon later in the race as well, with that fresh set of the medium compound tyres. Currently fights the back of Jeslar, who went from softs to mediums and now under huge pressure from Hazara, but I dare say might be easy pickings on the straight due to the freshness of the medium compound tyres for Hazara.
Tom on the back of Louis Valentine, swapping the positions again down in towards turn number 1, having a very good straight line speed actually, Tom, compared to Louis Valentine in the straight. So he's Thuney's into 3rd, and that again, very simple move. It's just simple moves at this point. Shazoo there and Louis Valentine 3rd and 4th. Indigo, you're mentioning in the chat, Mitri's not happy. Put it this way, anybody in OP right now will not be happy because their 1-2 finish, I think, has been robbed. I really, really do. I think it's like the Great Train Heist in the 1970s. It's a bit like that. It's the Great Train Robbery. That is what we have seen tonight with Louis Valentine. Albeit, in terms of Yossi, I can defend him in terms of defensive driving. But when you're defensive driving and nearly putting each other into the wall and nearly killing the other person, there comes a time where respect is needed and where clean driving rules. Both of these drivers are very capable. I've seen both of them fight very, very good, very, very aggressively. We get a yellow flag. That's a thing. CC Brain round again on a set of soft compound tyres. PGX not having a good race. Benny at the back of the field as well, down in 19th position. But there comes a time where I think respect is needed. Respect is earned and not given. And I think this is the time where maybe they just call a truce. Maybe they just call a truce as Gavano was actually going to make a 3 wide in towards turn number 1. And gets both of them. Has he gone too deep, though, and towards turn number 1 on the back? Yes, he does. And Louis Valentine sweeps back through, and he's into third. Gavano, though, has gained a position ahead of Tom. Tom has gone back 2 positions now, taking candy from a baby that. But that was brilliant. If Gavano got that stopped, that would have been the overtake of the season.
Yeah, 2 for 1 there, but unfortunately lost 1 in the process, but still gained 1, and now is in P4. So, yeah, great drive there from Gavano, but Louis had the switch back on him, better exit indeed with the inside line and got him back. Tom swallowed on the straight, but I've noticed Hazara is started to gain on these 3. The gap was like 3.6 a few laps ago, sorry. Now it's 2.2, so he's rapidly gaining in his middle sector. So let's see if Hazara will join this battle, and this could be an interesting fight for P3.
Oh my God, Matteo! Matteo and Wundux are side by side running up the hill. Wundux, I think, slightly ghosting inside, and Matteo has got that up the inside line through Skyflak. Brilliant stuff. He's the man on the set of soft compound tyres, the man on a recovery mission, quite literally. He's into 13th. Wundux has been done by an absolute scalded cat there. Bree and YCN are fighting side by side as well. In the background, a shot. Cavano going for the move on Louis Valentine and towards turn 1. He's got that car stopped this time. He's into third. Louis Valentine there in fourth, but still watching a ball with this battle. Further down the field, right to the inside line of Hugo. Absolutely steals that position off the back of the WSC, man. Beautiful racing up and down the field. This is what we deserve. This is clean racing right here. Take note, F7L.
Yeah, good battles in the midfield there. You can see Matteo is right behind. In fact, alongside the Aston Martin, moves himself into P12, trying to do the recovery drive as well. In the background, I can see a 3-wide moment. This could be a contact, and it is contact. Both Avataris, XVibre, and also 1CN got involved too, as XVibre got sandwiched in an Alphatari there, and that's more contact too, more barging, and they both got for a spin.
Oh, no.
And an Alpine to the back of him too, so that all ended. As soon as she said it's clean racing, they all made contact.
Commentator's curse. Commentator's curse of the finest order, I think there. Luckily, we're riding on board with battle for third, so I didn't see any of that, and you guys didn't get to see any of that as well. Liam's asking for the lap. It is lap 29. Out of 36, we've got 8 laps to go, including this one. And there goes Louis Valentine, potentially on the back of Gavano. In towards turn number 1. He's going to wait and concede the position for now, and maybe wait for that EOS to return back to him as well. But Benza leading the way. 3.6 seconds. And Ghost King in the end, he's had very good pace this race, but OP Benza, it's a bit like Max Verstappen. He's Formula 0.5 and the rest of the field are Formula 1 right now. Benza's doing this exactly the same as what Verstappen did in, of course, Mexico last week, where he absolutely dominated the race once again. Benza is doing that fantastically well, and he's doing a brilliant job. He's 3.6 seconds clear. Ghost King, as I say, not on the real same level as Benza. He is getting a very good fight on, though, to try and just hang on to him. There goes Hazara to the inside line on the back of Tom through turn number 10. That's a very risky move, actually, by the Norwegian. Tries to get the job done on the back of the Brit, but the Brit hangs on for Shazoo, Tom, and Hazara. Of course, Hazara, actually, famously raced against Tom in TML F1 back in the day. I think it was season 6 or season 7, if I'm not mistaken. Hazara on the back of Tom, trying to reclaim this battle that they had a couple of seasons ago, and TML now comes through the final corner on the back of Tom. He's got the straight line speed compared to Tom. Is he going to be close enough in towards turn number 1? Is Louis Valentine going to be close enough in towards turn number 1? The answer to both those questions, no.
Yeah, Hazara is a very quick driver. You know, I raced him all those years ago, back in 2019 and 2018, and he's been my championship rival too. So I know exactly how quick he is, and he's got some really good race pace, and that's an optimistic move up the inside too. Almost made it work, but Tom ultimately had the outside line and better traction, but he tried to make something of it and stays in P6. He's desperate to go for a move because he's stuck in this DRS train, 3 cars ahead of him. And he's got the best tyre life out of all of them, so he carries more speed in the corners. You can see Tom had a slight wobble as he clattered the curb in turn number 7 there, so almost lost the car, but collects it immediately. They're all bunched up so together as well, as Hazara gives Tom a slight love tap on the back of the rear of that Mercedes, as Giovanno's under massive pressure. Right behind him is OP Louis Valentine, Hazara and Tom, so it's a intense battle between these four, fighting for P3. This is the last spot off the podium as well. ETA trying to go for a podium. Shizou Tom trying to get his second podium in a row after he scored one at the Austrian Grand Prix in Jabano. Made his way from Academy, trying to score a podium. Here comes OP Louis Valentine, and here comes Tom. Another 3-wide moment. Can Tom get it stopped in time? Will he outbreak himself? No, because Louis Valentine breaks later and has the outside line, and he's up into P3. So I thought Tom would get 2 for 1, but Louis Valentine could hold on the brakes there and stays in P3 for the time being. Hazara is desperate to get past, knowing he has the best tire life out of all of them, and good pace to go with it too. But there's no way passing this DRS train unless he can lunge up the inside of somewhere, like he tried to do on Tom in turn number 10.
Yeah, definitely so. Tom, by the way, in fourth. I think it was respectful driving as well on the part of Tom, because they didn't want to make contact coming through turn number 1. Louis Valentine just simply had the traction coming out the corner, and Tom, in the end, just simply had to wait in behind. Gavano and Hazara was going to have their own private battle, and then Louis Valentine and Tom are going to have their private battle. This is going to split apart, potentially, this front group, this foursome actually out on track between 3rd and 6th position. But Ben's are leading the way, goes King in 2nd. The gaps are very stable out in front. There is not a chance that those gaps are going to be coming down unless we get a safety car towards the end of this race. You watch, I'll say that now. 30 seconds later, it'll happen. Tom on the back, though, Louis Valentine in towards turn number 1 once again. This should be like taking candy from a Ferrari-shaped and coloured baby. Tom on the outside of turn number 1 gets the job done. He's through and he's into 3rd, and that is a treat of a move from him. Louis Valentine in 4th, Gavano there in 5th, Hazara there in 6th, doing a fantastic job. Dirk saying in the chat he's looking for a Hazara podium. I'm also looking for a Hazara podium. We've got 71% of VRS. Gavano's on 56, Louis Valentine on 49, and Tom on 36. So progressively, as you get through the pack, man in 6th position, definitely the man to watch out for. He's on fresher tyres, he's got the more ERS compared to everyone else, just whether or not he's got the better setup compared to everyone else, and try and find where the weaknesses are out on track. But he is certainly doing a fantastic job for ETA.
Yeah, I agree with you there, James. He's doing a fantastic job, but it's just so hard to find a way past, especially at a track like this as well. He's just looking to capitalize on any mistakes that these three will do in the corners. That's where he's kind of carrying the most speed, but down the straight, he just can't find any way past, as they're all carrying the same speed on the straight. With 4 laps left to go, it's like you'll keep fluctuation between P3 and P4, changing positions. We'll see who's the last man out there in P3 on the last lap, because being first out there in this game. Hey, look at Hazara there, right to the back of Jabano. This is about finding chances, opportunities. He don't use the ERS. He didn't use it, and he stays behind unless he outbreaks him.
Oh my God!
Which he does.
What a
lovely move there from Hazara. Late breaking skills, and he's up into P5.
Yeah, that is absolutely brilliant there from Hazara. Through and he's into 5th position. I thought he went too deep, like what Gavano did a few laps ago, but he didn't. He absolutely controlled that on the brakes. Parked at the bus like taking candy from a baby on the back of Gavano, and that is Hazara through and he's into P5. And Hazara, Fraser saying in the chat, Hazara and Gavano have been doing so good recently. Hazara has definitely came alive. I remember him back in the day for being in TNR, and that was in Team Norway Racing, and he was in TML F3, F4. And that was really in the infancy of where the league was getting going. Now he's at the top of his game. He's got a brilliant team underneath him in ETA. And he's really improving as the weeks go by. He's definitely a man to watch out for in the league racing community. He's almost got that aura, I think, of Yossi, I think. Remember Yossi at the back end of last year? He came alive in WR Legacy Division and really came alive in those races. Hazara's showing the same form as what Yossi was doing. Yossi, I mean, completely buggered it up all tonight with his defensive driving, but Hazara has done a fantastic job in P5. Can he get any more positions out of this? We've got 3 laps to go, by the way. 34 out of 36. Benza leads the way, goes King in 2nd, Tom in 3rd. One guaranteed, certainly, though, Jamie, is, on your birthday, no safety cars.
Yeah, the only safety car we had was before the beginning of the first race. But luckily, we didn't have a safety car or virtual here tonight. Did we have a virtual? I actually can't remember now.
BSC, lap 1.
Yeah, I can't believe I forgot about that. It's a long time ago now, with only 2 laps left to go. So this is shaping up to be a great race. I remember saying that I wanted Hazara through the podium for some reason, but here he is in P5 fighting for a podium, and it'd be great to see him get it after all the good hard work he's done so far. 2 cars in front of him, all fighting for a podium in the last few laps of this race. This will get very tense between Tom, Louis, Hazara, and Jabano if you can find a way past these guys, but unlikely now being last in the DRS train. So let's see what happens then. You can see Hazara Hazara has got a lot of EOS to spare. Same with Louis Valentine, and Tom has got a decent amount too. But let's see what happens then. Louis Valentine will go through a move on Tom as he goes defensive on the inside. What about Hazara? Will he make a move on Tom? Will he try and outbreak him? He switches lines.
Oh, he gets caught in the grass! And he's spun into the wall, and that is one mistake too far for Hazara. It's just a simple rub of the grass, and he's getting the car stopped. He's got right side end plate damage on the car. Oh, that's a disaster. That is an absolute disaster. He can't even control the car coming through the first part of the lap. Oh, that is absolute agony for Hazara. That was just one simple mistake on the grass. You get caught in the grass, you go straight on. That's what Hazara's found out. He spun through turn 1 in the wall. Oh, that's an absolute disaster. What Bass wants, by the way, Bass absolutely gets. Louis Valentine and Tom are 3rd and 4th, and this is the battle now for all the podiums. Gavano is still involved in this slightly, but he's a second down, and I don't think he's going to be getting that second back as we go through on towards the final laps of the race. But Benza leading the way, Goes King in 2nd, Louis Valentine there in 3rd, Tom there in 4th, and is Tom now going to come in the back of Louis Valentine? We all want to see this between these two. No love lost between OP and Chazoo. And now on the final lap of the race in the EML F1, we're going to get it again, because here's Tom on the back of Louis Valentine. Louis Valentine gets it to the middle of the road, but Tom up the inside of turn 1. Louis Valentine fights around the outside of turn 1 at Tarzan, but it's Tom's move for now. Louis Valentine is still there. Tucked within the slipstream now, coming through 2 and 3, bit like IndyCar, trying to get the move done, but he can't, and it's Tom through and he's into 3rd. Louis Valentine, though, if he's got the fresh tyres, he's got to try and fight back, as actually Inio was ahead of Jeslar coming through the banking. That was at turn 3, so great move there from him. Louis Valentine still applying pressure there, coming through Skyflack at turn 7, trying to get the job done. Now into a Marlborough corner at turn 8. Jeslar and Axelinio, by the way, side by side, in towards this part of the track as well. Jeslar can't find a way through, but Ben's leading the way, 4.5 seconds the gap. Goes King in 2nd. They've been 1-2 pretty much since everything happened with OP and F7R. But Tom there in 3rd, having to try and really hang on. Louis Valentine is going to come back at him in towards turn 11 and 12. Can he find a way through for this final podium position? Do OP deserve this 1-3? Yes, they certainly do. Do they deserve a 1-4? Yes, they certainly do. But Benza deserves this race win. To the line, takes the race win from Ghost King there in 2nd. Tom is barely hanging on through the final couple of corners, but he's going to hang on for 3rd. Tom to the line finishes in 3rd for Chazoo. Louis Valentine will be wanting the straight to be a little bit longer the next time he comes here. He's there in 4th. Gavano there in 5th. And Jeslar on the run to the line. Nearly getting Axelinio there. And it's only 200ths of a second to the line between 6th and 7th. Fantastic race in the end. Domination from OP out in front with Benza. Ghost King, a fantastic 2nd for him, and Tom in the end in 3rd, barely hanging on to that podium. But a fantastic race regardless. Yes, that was that controversy with OP and F7R. Hopefully they can forget about that. But Benza has proven to everyone OP are back, and they're back fighting.
This is exactly what they needed. Maybe not 1-2 as it was in the cards and script for them, not expecting that Yossi moment. But this is a great recovery drive from both of them. They desperately need the points as well. And it's going to be so close in the last 2 rounds if OP can keep this up, because F7R was looking consistent recently. OP are back, and let's see how it shapes up to be the last 2 rounds of the Grand Prix. Tom, Louis, and Giovanno's fight was amazing with Lazara too. They kept it nice and respectful. No rash moves, no dodgy defending. It was just plain good fighting indeed from all 3 of them. So I'm really impressed there. Hazara, I feel for him, but it's his driving mistake. He got on the grass there, he locked the rear tyres up, and that's just, you don't really see mistakes like that. But they do happen to the best of us. Unfortunately, it did happen to him. So it's gonna hurt Hazara a lot, knowing he could get a podium or a high result. But at the end of the day, it was a driver error, and I hope he could come back from that, because I don't really see mistakes from him like that at all. I'm not really seeing much mistakes from him in the past recently, but that one, that'll definitely hurt him. Just a little touch of the grass there just caused the car to unsettle and not reel up the brakes. But Benza, what a fantastic drive indeed from him. Ever since he overtook Louis Valentine early on in this race as well. Controlled the pace ahead of Ghost King. Ghost King did a fantastic job for G League as well. Had the pace, kept out of trouble, and look where he is in P2. And that'll definitely do G League the world of good after getting 2 podiums this season. One from Jill. It was Jill, by the way, back in the Japanese Grand Prix. I don't know where I got Ethan from. and Ghost King as well. So Alpine and G League will be very impressed with their drivers too tonight. They should be.
Yeah, they should be really, really proud. I think everyone should be proud. Again, apart from that OP F7R controversy, I think everyone should be proud of the race that we saw there. Benza out on top from Ghost King there in second. Sick on the grid up to second. Tom there in third. Fantastic fight with him, with Louis Valentine in fourth. Gavano there in fifth. Axelino there in sixth. Enelor with a strong show and actually fifth and sixth. Bit of an underdog performance from them. Jeslo there in seventh, from 15th on the grid up to seventh driver of the day. Then Yossi, Hazara, Matt Dolzo top 10. CC Brian, Mateo, Macho, Falcos, Wondok step 15. Then YCN, Hugo, Benny, Bray. There's 19 drivers that finished. Francesco out on that one after that contact, of course, with Macho. Macho in the end ended up recovering well. Yossi ended up recovering well after those fights as well. But all the congratulations has to go to Benza, has to go to him. The Italian outfit out on top, and a brilliant performance from there. Not the 1-2 that we're expecting. It's not going to be even Stevens going into next week, but there's certainly only going to be less than 10 points separating them as we go, of course, into round 8 of the championship in one of my favourite tracks that I love to commentate on. It, of course, is Brazil in Sao Paulo. What can we expect around there? I put the pressure on OP, saying that they had to deliver tonight. They've delivered with the first and fourth finish even, and they're back in the championship on an F7R. Is it going to be F7R's turn, though, Jamie, for them to bounce back again and take another win, maybe with Yossi?
Looks like they keep bouncing back and forth. If one team has good results, another has poor, then it swaps around again. So we'll see if the F7R can come back stronger, because qualifying dented their opportunities. They only had the one lap, and obviously Francesco, we didn't really see his race pace, unfortunately, here at the Dutch Grand Prix. Crashed out on lap 1 at turn number 7, same place as his teammate, hit the back of Macho as well. So it's a shame. We couldn't quite see what happened to both of them, but yeah, hopefully they come back stronger in Brazil and sort the qualifying out, because qualifying really dented their performance in the race too. Out of position, in my opinion, but the race pace dissipated after that incident too, whether, I don't know if he picked up more damage after that or not, but we'll find out eventually. But yeah, it's been a fantastic race there, and yeah, the blockage between Yossi and Louis Valentine would definitely be discussed in the stewards there, because a 1-2 should have been in the cards, but instead it's a 1-4 as well. So they won't be happy about that, as they want to take maximum points away.
Yeah, definitely. So Benza, by the way, wishing us well and thanking us for commentary, as the same with Tom in the Discord as well. Love to see that. Love to see everyone getting on board in terms of the commentary. We do this out of our own time, by the way. You do not get to see because we're getting paid or anything. This is purely out of our own strength, out of our own breath. And put it this way, I wouldn't want it any other way. EML is part of my family of commentary that I do. Indigo, the same you, Jamie, the same with you, of course, as well. And yeah, it's going to be interesting going into the final 3 rounds of the season. Sao Paulo, Imola, Las Vegas to end off the season. Going to be very interesting around there. But hopefully everything goes according to plan next week. Hopefully we get to see what I said a little bit earlier on. F7R and OP, we got a bit of a taste, let's just say, between them here tonight in Zandvoort. Are you going to get the same next week? You'll have to tune in and find out. Of course, more action to come on League Racing TV. The next time we'll be live, of course, is next week for Wednesday. Of course, it is Academy with Michael Edwards taking through the action at 6 o'clock. And then, of course, at 8 p.m, it is the fantastic Division 2, of course, with Lesty and Freefall, who I believe is actually not commentating next week. So it might just be at Lesty. And you've got us two back in the commentary box once again for round 8 of the championship in Brazil. But we're going to let you go. Well, I'm going to go and watch Big Brother finally and catch up on the final half an hour of the nominations. But I've been James Head. He's been Jamie Morris. Thank you so much for watching this live stream. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, click that notification bell if you're brand new to the channel. We're going to leave you with our sponsors, of course, in Next Level Racing and Rising Lions. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, goodbye.